What is up, and welcome to a new video. We are here in Riga and I'm actually suited and booted. I forgot to do an intro for the vlog. So we have practice done. We have yesterday's practice and this morning's practice out of the way. We have one more practice session left before qualifying, which is this afternoon. But we had quite an exciting day yesterday. Obviously, it never really works out that all three cars will be as reliable as we hope throughout the weekend. And unfortunately yesterday, Conor's car was that car. On his first lap of practice, I actually followed him. And at the end of the lap, he shut down and was wondering as to why the car stalled. He went to start it again, and yeah, car sounded like a sewing machine. So basically, a bit of rubber went in between the timing belt and the cam gear and jumped timing, and unfortunately bent the valves in the head. So the boys had a busy night last night. They have it all back together now. Jeroen from DBM had a head, so they got that off, got it back on. Jeroen torqued it up and timed it. And then the boys put it back together, got it going. Done a few runs this morning just to make sure the logs are okay, all that good stuff. And yeah, Lloyd made sure that the ECU master was still looking after the engine as it should. And he was back on track this morning and flying also today, so which is quite good. Fion's car, also no issues this weekend yet, which is great. I'm very happy because I spent some time with brake cylinders and brake pads and discs, new stuff, to try to get the handbrake issue solved. We also changed the release bearing and got the clutch issue fixed, I'm sure. So I'm very happy that all that is working for him and it's now running pretty sweet. And his last few laps of practice were also fairly on point. My own practice is going okay. The first two corners I can do no problem, but then in the second transition, before we get to like the hump on the track, I keep leaving off and messing up a small bit. And these guys are going to crucify me if I don't stay on throttle. Cheers, thank you. Cheers, man. So yeah, I just keep leaving off and not staying on full throttle, which is strange because I've always drove this track like fairly balls to the wall and never had an issue. So I'm not too sure if the car is maybe just transitioning a little bit too fast for what I want, and maybe that's what's wrong. But we've got one more session in practice and hopefully that we can get the line dialed and get the commitment down as well. One other issue that we're having is that the wall on the track and the last corner is not as round as it usually is, which is unusual because in Riga usually the track staff are very, very good and they're very good at getting the wall and all that kind of stuff into like the correct position, but it does feel like it's in a different place and it does feel like it's not as round as usual, which is strange, but we'll forgive them because we've been coming here a long time and it's probably the first year that it hasn't been perfect and just close to it, so we won't give out too much about that. But yeah, that's kind of an update from start of the weekend to now. Conor's car is back together, which is sweet. My car is running flawless, so is Fion's, so that's a good start, I guess. And yeah, in the meantime, we have qualifying soon, so yeah, it's very warm. You warm, babe? Very warm. So yeah, last weekend in St. Louis was extremely hot, and I thought it'd be a bit less temperature here this weekend, but it's actually almost as hot and it's still very humid. So yeah, it's not amazing, not very nice in the car, and yeah, it's a bit of a balls to be honest. But that's kind of off for now. I got some onboards. You might be able to see what I'm trying to say about where my issue is with the second transition and whatnot, but yeah, we'll see. We should be fine. One other thing that I want to talk to you about is that we have changed the gear ratio a lot from what we used to run here last year. So last season, as far as I'm sure, what we have wrote down in the notebook is that I ran a 3-8-4 ratio, which would have been just over 130 miles an hour wheel speed. And this time we are down to a 4.1 ratio, which brings my wheel speed to just over 126 or 127 miles an hour. And I know you're saying that's not a massive amount of a difference between wheel speed, but it does make a big difference when you're in the car from where you are in the limiter and whatnot. So the reason for the gear change is because we're on a new batch of extreme tires, and for some reason the first lap on the tires actually it works great and it's sweet, but the second lap the tires go quite fast, so we had to shorten the ratios of the cars a touch to try, you know, complement the tire lasting. And I think that's actually some of the reason why I'm messing up the transition, because don't have as much wheel speed to get me across the track, and I'm on the limiter and I feel like I'm going faster or something. So yeah, other than that, not too bad, but the tires are not lasting as long as we would like, so we are struggling with that. But in other ways everything is fine, so we're not too bad. So yeah, we will see you after qualifying.
Go back on the start line. It's going to be Piotr Wiecek from Ireland, the 20-year-old driver in Toyota GT86 2JZ.
Aggressive with the punch to the window. All right, let's see.
Yeah, pent up inside the car. And Piotr Wiecek looking for a little redemption this year. Not been the season he'd be looking for. As the Irishman comes off the line, 975 horsepower, screaming. Nice brake to angle, slows the car on the handbrake, but gets it right where it needs to be, perfectly on the outside zone. Back on throttle, look at this, as he fires through the circuit, looking out the window for those outside zones. Again, another driver firing it to angle to slow it down, but stays on throttle. Piotr Wiecek now works the back end of this GT86 into this final last outside zone, on the foot brake, pushing the back end as close to the wall as he dare, as he gets it across the line. We go back to the line to another Irishman from Killavullen, Cork. It is Jack Shanahan from Ireland, GT86 2JZ 900. Jack Shanahan, interestingly, said to me he took the end plates off the spoiler this weekend to help the car initiate and transition. But look at this, right to the edge of the circuit. Shanahan fires and throws that car around Riga. Now on the throttle, all the way to the edge of the circuit, but doesn't get as deep into the outside zone we'd like to see. And he's messed up, he's missed that outside zone. As Shanahan drags the handbrake and gets the back of that GT86 into this long last outside zone. Spoiler hangs over as he brings it across the line.
What? You're joking. He missed the plate. You're joking, man.
Up the line, ready to go, is going to be Conor Shanahan from Ireland, 22 years of age, Toyota GT86 2JZ, 950 horsepower, slams that car into gear. Shanahan yesterday having a cylinder head failure, a piece of rubber got into the timing cover, destroyed the cylinder head. He had one run of practice yesterday, got some good practice today, so he's feeling confident. Shanahan fires through, former king of Riga, puts that car right to angle, right to the edge of the circuit, picks up that inside zone now, right across the circuit he goes. A little shallow on the outside zone, but no problem right there as he looks to put it in to that final outside zone. Quite a lot slowing there before he gets into that final outside zone, on the throttle, on the foot brake, gabbing it, working that back end towards the wall across the line. Jack Shanahan now on the line, a man that lives just a few miles down the road from James Dean, since we were 92.5 in his first qualifying score. What can he do now? As he pedals that 2JZ Toyota GT86, a nice flick across the circuit on the handbrake, now settled perfectly into that outside zone. Shanahan completely smokes out the drone, the camera, the whole lot as he fires it through. Down he looks to go super wide and collects his outside zone. Big angle thrown on from Shanahan as he fires it into this last outside zone. Spoiler over the wall. As Shanahan's in the zone, dial takes the cone down. The end of the spoiler on the wall across the line.
Here we go.
Ranks. Yeah, the last driver in qualifying before we head to our qualifying showdown. Conor Shanahan sits on the line with a 91 already. He's going to want to improve. Sits in 11th place at the moment. Again, another driver that we wanted to move up, gain some more points for qualifying as he goes through the gears, flicks that Toyota GT86 to angle, 2JZ underneath the bonnet, absolutely screaming as he foot to floor, big transition, full throttle, no messing around for Shanahan as he comes down in front of the grandstand, puts that car on even more angle. Very nice line for Shanahan as he picks up the outside zone. Good transition back, a little dab of the handbrake. Look at that line though in that outside zone, it's absolutely beautiful as he puts the bumper to the wall and across the line. Qualifying is done and dusted, and this is how it sits. The final battle of our qualifying showdown. Now this is in play.
See what happens.
Could be a game changer for tomorrow. Here we go, off the line, James Dean to lead out Conor Shanahan. Shanahan door to door with Dean already as they go for the flick bumper to bumper on initiation. Dean into the outside zone, perfectly timed as Shanahan falls into formation, goes for the transition back now, looks for the front wheel of that Mustang RTR. They fire in front of the grandstands. Whoa, wow, what a transition from Shanahan as he tucks up back into formation again. This is unbelievable from Shanahan as he tucks himself onto the door of that Ford Mustang, onto the wall he goes and across the line. Well, here we go, back on the line. Conor Shanahan to lead out James Dean, and they get the green light ready to go through the start line down to initiation. Conor Shanahan flicks that car from left to right. Dean in tow. Look at that little dab of the handbrake. Dean needs to set himself up closely on the door, and he waits for that transition. Pops through the smoke because Shanahan leads them through down in front of the grandstand. Big transition coming up as Dean fires through the smoke into this outside zone. One more transition to go. Bumper to bumper once again. Favourable paid as Dean's closer than Shanahan. Onto that front wheel he goes as he pushes Shanahan across the line.
Let's see.
Slide him left for Dean, right for Shanahan. One vote for James Dean. Oh, split decision. Who's it going to be? Oh, it's going to be a one more time. It's a completely split decision. What is happening on the grid?
Guys, I think this is the first time in my life where a driver's actually walked over to me, so I'm just trying to figure out what's going on here. I saw a conversation happening, obviously the split decision going one more time. By the looks of things, are you making a decision as to whether you want to put these cars back on the line again?
Yeah, honestly, we're both pushing hard and we're close to the limits, and we're just talking. If we push any harder, there's a risk of a crash, there's a risk of breaking a car, and it's just not worth it, I think. So what do you feel?
Yeah, I honestly agree with James. I don't know what their opinion is or how that works, but yeah, it's a little bit on the limit, and I've got to try keep this thing ticking over.
Makes total sense, guys. I mean,
the main show is tomorrow, and we want to save the best to last.
Well, there you have it, guys.
Maybe they can split the points and give us a point each for the final.
Say that again.
Maybe they can split the point and give us a point each for the final.
Well, it looks like the drivers have rewritten the rules and they're deciding what's happening from now on. So all I can say is it looks like our drivers will not be heading back to the line, and I'm going to leave this one back up to our commentators and our judges because I don't really know what's going on.
We're going to make it official. It is going to slide to the higher qualifier, which of course is Conor Shanahan. He will get the win and round out our qualifying showdown.
What is up, buddy? So the day is down here in Riga for qualifying. Pretty successful day for me. Started to push it on a little bit in the second one. Had a pretty safe first run, just trying to make sure that we were in the show in case it started raining. The last thing we wanted to do was have a rain run on a zero, especially with the situation we're in. So yeah, kept ahead, started pushing the second run, and yeah, finished up second in qualifying. Pretty happy with that. I think it probably, in my opinion, was enough to go top, definitely by 0.5 or a point, but we'll take second. And then into the showdown, had a boy run in our top four, and then in the final against James we got it one more time, but me and James were already kind of pushing and said it was the right decision not to do the one more time. My car was running a little bit hot, and I just kind of felt like, you know, in the situations what we are, I don't want to be in a case that we wreck the car and then have a lot of repairs tonight for the team. So car was really solid today, and I hope that we can keep it that way for tomorrow. But in the end it worked out. I think because I'm the higher qualifier, me and James decided not to do the battle. They gave the extra point to me, so took max points in qualifying today again, and yeah, we extend the lead in the championship. So everything so far is going to plan. Me and Jack are on the same side of the bracket tomorrow, unfortunately, and we'll more than likely meet each other in top 8 if everything goes to plan. So yeah, it will be a big battle, but obviously it's frustrating when we're on the same side. Jack, I don't know exactly where Jack ended up. I think he scored a 92, so pretty high up there as well. But yeah, tomorrow's going to be a big day. Hard track, have to keep very consistent here to get a good result out of it. So, but we're in a good place. Really good day today, and I hope by tomorrow evening we can extend our lead in the championship race. See you guys tomorrow, and I hope you guys are enjoying. Bye.
So the last couple of minutes have been fairly hectic. We've on my first chase from today, went downshift behind Turba, and unfortunately broke a dog ring. So Jeroen and Flo and Cullum are just putting it back together because my thumb badge got ripped out, and we had a spare dog. Flo had a fork, so we put that together now, and yeah, everything should be fixed. Just need to get it all bolted up, get new oil, and then back in the car. Unfortunately, we will miss practice, so a bit of a disaster because we don't know where we are with speed or what tire pressures or anything like that. So not amazing, but it is what it is. Unfortunately, Fion's car also, the subframe is out, broke a bolt in the diff, so it was just too risky to continue because it would have caused more damage if it broke fully. Conor's car is still going, and I think he's gone pretty good in practice also. So yeah, not an amazing start, but hopefully when this goes back together, we know other issues and we can make top 32. But definitely not confidence boosting because, like I was saying, we have Oliver Randall who's top 32. So very, very fast battle, and I don't even know if we're going to be fast enough. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll give it our best.
Cherba sits in that chase position. Conor Shanahan opting to lead first, being the higher qualifier. Gets the thumbs up there. Gives himself a little stretch, ready to go. And a good handshake from Marcin before they slam those cars into gears and get ready to leave the start line. Conor, little look over at the camera to say, you still watching?
Yeah, I don't know what to expect at this point.
No, I don't, but we're going to find out, that's for sure. Off the line, Conor Shanahan to lead out Benedictus Cherba as they slam through the gears down. Look for initiation, nice early initiation from Shanahan. Big drag of the handbrake to set himself up that first outside zone, but look at Cherba onto the rear bumper, onto the door already as they fire through. Down, Cherba on the inside, has to shallow up the angle, now starts to dial it back in, starts to hunt down the side of Shanahan's GT86 as they fire towards the wall. Clear pass at the moment, and you can look at this Cherba on the inside, has to readjust, has to get himself back into the pocket. Shanahan on the wall, attack, and almost a spin across the line. Let's keep it going. Will he go on the line, ready to rock and roll? Benedictus Cherba from Lithuania leaves the line in that E92 BMW. Look at this from Shanahan, firing through the gears, and you can see him pedaling that GT86, trying to keep up with Cherba as they fire in. A mirror image initiation, perfect from both guys. They lost in the smoke as they fire down. An early transition from Shanahan puts him right into the pocket of Benedictus Cherba, but Cherba on a shallow line, trying to find those outside zones as Shanahan now backs off a little bit, almost takes the front end off the car. Cherba risks it all against the wall, full throttle now, and Shanahan dives in on the door across the line.
Tough choice here.
Very
really
tough choice here. Well, here we go. Decisions in, left for Cherba, right for Shanahan. The championship could be in the balance right now. It's 1 vote. It's Cherba! Cherba gets the win. Shanahan out of competition, and now the championship starts to crumble. Conor Shanahan out of the fight. Laurie Heinen still in it. James Dean still in it. We've still got Piotr Wiecek to come up later on. He slams that BMW E46 into gear. The M50 Turbo rumbles as Shanahan puts that GT86 into gear and comes off the line through the gears. Both guys not messing around. Jack Shanahan to lead out. Oliver Randler as they fire in. Nice lead line. Little wander there from Shanahan though as he flicks to this outside zone, and Randler is all over the place in the middle of the circuit as Shanahan puts foot to floor, fires that car where it needs to be. Look at this. Shanahan's got that car turned up to 100 as he gets it into the outside zone. Oliver Randler can't hang with the Irishman as he now goes for the front wheel, goes for the door, but it could be too much too late. Pull back up onto the line. Shanahan sits in that chase position. Randlu from Estonia to lead out Jack Shanahan. Jack Shanahan driving angry this weekend, say he wants it, he's hungry for it. Comes off the line, look at this from Shanahan, no messing around. He'll run through the gears down towards initiation. Jack Shanahan's going to tuck into formation and fire in behind over Randlu. Randlu now sticks into the outside zone, moves to wheel, door to door, as they fire through again. Shanahan can't be shaken though. Randlu looks for that perfect lead line, he goes nice and wide. Shanahan through the smoke, still there, still in the hunt as they come down. Oh, up onto the car, goes Randlu with almost contact as they get into his final outside zone. Shanahan takes for a minute, now dives up onto the rear wheel, onto the front wheel, onto the door. And let's see how the judges deemed it. Slide them left for Randlu, right for Jack Shanahan. It's 1 vote for Shanahan. It's Jack Shanahan getting the win, advancing through to the top 16. This one a heavy hitter for both of these young guys. Sits in that chase position. Itay Sena, the higher qualifier, decides to lead first. They scream through the gears. It's going to be BMW versus GT86 as they fire it in, and a nice initiation from Fionn Roche and from Itay Sena as they both get into it. Good transition back now as Fionn Roche loses little ground, finds himself on the inside, but they go wide for the outside zone. Fionn Roche goes for the dive on the inside now, comes back across the circuit as Itay Sena leads him into this last outside zone. Fionn Roche waiting to make that move, waiting to make that dive as he clutch kicks that GT86 onto the door. Itay Sena, look at the positioning. Pulls himself at a funny angle, wants to get more of a straight line approach down onto that circuit as they come through the gears off the start line. Fionn Roche now to lead out Itay Sena as they hammer through the gears. Fionn Roche lighting up the tyres of that GT86 already. Big handbrake drag, sets himself up nicely for the outside zone though. Itay Sena starts to tuck himself into formation, goes for the transition. Piotr Wiecek on a very nice lead line though, goes deep into the outside zone, back he goes across the circuit. Itay still had no answer at the moment though, needs to clean this one up, needs to get himself into the pockets on the inside of the circuit. Piotr Wiecek absolutely flying in this last outside zone as Itay still goes for the door, the front wheel across the line. The both guys out of the car waiting for the decision, they're looking at the big screen, who's going to take it through? One of these young guns will be in the top 16, side of left for Wiecek, right for Shanahans, one vote for Wiecek. It's going to be Piotr Wiecek, she gets the win and advances through to the top 16.
We've made it into top 16. We beat Oliver Rendelou, and I must say that is a weight off my shoulders massively, because he was always like the fastest man on track, and at the end of the run he came up to me and said that he couldn't have whip me, and I did that as a massive compliment, because I must say the GTA 6 is on rails when we can do the line anyway right. Like, it's just so fast. So very happy with that. And on the second run, my chase was a bit sloppy, like it was nowhere near perfect, but I was just expecting him to have a bit more pace, so I was kind of like all over the place. But from here, battles should start getting a bit faster, and I should be able to get more comfortable in the chase position, but we'll see. But top 16, very happy with that. Unfortunately, Conor did get knocked out. Just kind of had caught a bit of understeer in his first corner and his lead run against Sherba, which is just unlucky. So yeah, the track does feel a bit funny compared to what I did in practice, and we also don't get the same warm-up time in the burnout box as what we do in practice compared to battle. So I think that's a big thing. But up next, not too sure if we have Orion or Jakob Kroll, so either way, tough battle again, top 16. But yeah, I feel a bit more relaxed now, so hopefully we can send it and keep going all the way to the top today, because I just hope it goes to plan.
Going to be a wild one. We're talking about two drivers just pushing style, pushing pace all the way around. Conor Nielsen and Jack Shanahan.
To get this underway, bangs the car into gear, gets the anti-lag popping, starts to creep off the line as Shanahan gives the green light to go, and we're off through the start line, down through the gears as Shanahan flicks that 2JZ down there as Conor Nielsen now looks for the side. That GT6 as Shanahan's up on the gravel, manages to hold on to it, fires it through, and it's a mess from Shanahan, but Conor Nielsen deals with it as Shanahan reclaims it, gets back into this outside zone, puts a bumper and spoiler to the wall and across the line. Well, here we go, back on the line. Conor Nielsen pulls up to the start line, ready to get things underway.
Ready to go, getting the thumbs up, door closed, ready to rock.
Yeah, certainly is. And here we go, off the line comes Conor Nielsen to lead out Jack Shanahan. The spot is top 8 waits for one of these drivers who's going to be taking it through to battle Cherba as Conor Nielsen fires it in an early initiation from Jack Shanahan. Now Conor Nielsen goes wide and puts it into a spin. It's a complete replica, a complete same mistake.
Well, I mean, for Uran, I feel like he steered into it a little bit more. It looked like he wasn't going to be able to make the inside zone and had to unwheel the car a bit to try and push out to it, and then that's when it all went wrong.
Well, here we go, both out of the car. The decision's in for the judges, slide them left for it, Nielsen, right for Shanahan. It can only go one way, and that's Jack Shanahan making his way into the top 8. Back to the start line though, to this one, two young guns, an absolute blinder. No practice today, this morning in top 32 practice now. Laser focus says, I'm going to just have to learn on the fly and learn with every battle. We can chase down Jarkko Juhla. As Juhla, the higher qualifier, decides to lead first, side by side as they come through the gears down to initiation. He flicks that Toyota JZX to angle, stands on the accelerator and sings that 2JZ as they fire through. And look at this from Piotr Wiecek, not letting the young Finnish driver get away. Now starts to regain some lost ground as Jarkko Juhla puts it into the outside zone. Piotr Wiecek losing ground once again, now making a mistake in the outside zone, but so does Jarko Euler as Fion Roche goes to the inside of the circuit and across the line.
So let's see if that happens again, and if he can harness that anger into an incredible lead run.
Here we go, he's on the line to lead out Jarko Euler, the Finnish driver, feeling confident after that really nice lead line, even though there was a few mistakes creeping in from both sides. They're off through the gears down to initiation as Fion Roche goes for it early, lights up the tyres on the back of that 2JZ GT86, but look at this from Jarko Euler already on the front wheel, the young Irishman as they fire through the smoke. Fion Roche starts to pick up the pace now, starts to look for that wide line, but it's deep into the wall. Oh, and it's a big accident for Fion Roche. Showing the red flag from our marshal, and see Fion Roche in the middle of the track, that car absolutely in tatters, and yet another accident here.
You see some movement from that door, and
yeah, he's out. It looks like he's going to be okay. He's out. He's okay. He's been told that he is okay. He's just shaking. Look at this. You can see where it all went wrong. So full tilt. Look at Jarko Euler though on the rear wheel onto the door. Nice transition back, and you can see Fion Roche just going too wide there, just can't control it. There, hits the wall, and it's 1, 2, 3, and he absolutely puts that thing into a spin dryer. Look at this as an on-board, ready as he hits the wall, ready, bam! Hands off the wheel, lets it do his thing, tries to stop it.
Man. Oh, that feeling is, I hope, it's a feeling I hope no one else has to feel.
Jarko Euler getting that win. That was so close to taking out both cars.
Yeah, I mean, nobody wants to win that way, but Fion Roche, as we talked about, you know, we knew he was going to push hard.
It's going to be Benedictus Cherba to take on Jack Shanahan. Both guys pull to the line. Cherba looking cool, calm and collected on a really good flyer this weekend, that's for sure. Got all the fans, the Lithuanian fans in the grandstand screaming his name. Jack Shanahan pulls to the line though. He's been in this situation multiple times here in Riga. What can he do in that lead as he fires through the gears down to initiation? Jack Shanahan firing in that GT86 now, starts to pull a big gap on Cherba already. Cherba shortcutting the outside zone as they fire through. Cherba starts to rein in Jack Shanahan as they fire in across the circuit. Down they come. A nice line from Jack Shanahan once again as Jack goes for that last outside zone. Cherba looking to find the door on that GT86. Can he get to the rear wheel? He certainly can as they go to the wall across the line. So I'm getting the information, Jacob. I'm going to let you talk for a moment.
The onboard antenna came from the roof and came to the Bikernieki. He hit him and he came to his feet and it struck him. And they now, the team of judges and everyone decided, and it's going to be a restart.
We go back to the start line to rerun this battle between Jack Shanahan and Benedictus Cherba. Now gets ready to go, slams that Eurofire into gear. Jack Shanahan ready to lead him out. They pop off the line with the green light through the gears. They go as Jack Shanahan runs them down the gauntlet into initiation, flicks that car across the circuit. Little dab of the handbrake from Shanahan as he now fires the car to angle very deep. But Cherba goes way wide. He's on the inside and he shuts it down. Goes for a re-initiation, but Shanahan is up and gone. Big angle thrown on by Shanahan, but he misses the outside zone. Now gets himself into it as Shanahan puts foot to floor, drives away from Benedictus Cherba. And there we go, back on the line they go. Benedictus Cherba now, the Lithuanian, to lead out Jack Shanahan. We get him. Lead out Jack Shanahan. Big flick, Shanahan. No rule book needed this time for a decision, that's for sure. As these two guys chat about that, it drops in. It's going to be left for Cherba or right for Shanahan. It's only going to go one way, and that's going to be Jack Shanahan getting the win, advancing through to the final four. Here we go, we're back on the line. It's going to be Jack Shanahan to chase down Piotr Wiecek in that incredible Toyota Supra. Thumbs up, he's excited, he's happy, but he knows Peter, he knows he's a steely competitor, and he knows he has to push 110%. But Shanahan's got the flair, the style.
What are we going to reacts.
As they pull up to the line, they wait for the green light to go. Shanahan comes off the line and through the gears, and Wiecek's not going to let him get away. He would have been on the radio to the spots saying, I need to be on the door, you need to be all over it. A big initiation from Shanahan, but he's going to fall out of the outside zone. Back into it once again as he fires through. There's no shaking the Polishman though. Look at this, he's up on the inside, he's tucked onto the door as he punches through the smoke. Through, mirrors the angle, mirrors the line. Wow, Wiecek is on an absolute flyer right now as he goes for the side of Shanahan's GT86, noses are super close to the before and across the line. And neither guy knows exactly what way this is going to go. We're pretty sure we do as the judges get the decision in. It's going to be left for Shanahan, right for Wiecek. It's going to be Piotr Wiecek gets to win and takes it through to the final. Who will take third here at round 5 of Drift Masters 2025? But Jack Shanahan, a man that was on the podium last weekend in America, he's riding that wave, he's feeling that luck, the rub of the green, the Irish. Can it come through this weekend? Can he claw some points back in this year, in this championship? They come off the line and through the gears and down to initiation. And Bertans fires it in. There's no shaking Shanahan with angle because he's the master of it this weekend. As Shanahan pops for the smoke, looks for the side of that BMW as they fire. Shanahan gets it into the wall.
Hello. So, as you can see, the car is fairly fucked. We made it all the way to top 4. We had a battle with Nick Nack, and I decided to chase first because I knew I'd need the grip because he's so fast. But I think he also put a bit too much grip in the car, and his lead line was pretty shit, to be honest. And I honestly thought that the mistake was completely my own fault, why I had to check up. But to be honest, I looked at the thing and he's like almost 3 wheels off compared to where they want us to be. So I had to correct. But basically I owned up for the mistake, and I think that's what made the judges realise that it was my fault. But to be honest, looking back, it was not my fault at all. And a bit frustrating now because of that, but it is what it is. So we paid the price. Car is damaged, but I think it's just some white stuff on the back, and then obviously cosmetics and a steering rack. There's no chassis damage, so we kind of got away lucky and kind of not the best into the day, but at least we're still P4, good points. Not a podium. It would have been nice to have champagne shower back to back, like in the same week basically. James and Peter in the final. I just seen Peter's chase from here and it looked pretty sick, so I don't know, we'll see, but that's it, I guess. Cheers, man. My luck went out when it went out, like, you know what I mean? So,
She's got a couple of handles. She's mean
an arm as well, I suppose.
Yeah.
But
we had some bear luck in the other.
oh, we had lots of luck, so I'll take the bad luck, you know.
Number 1. James Dean second. And Nicholas Bertans third. Amazing story, really happy, and I'm sure we will hear from both of them.
There's no way he.
No, we don't see me, unfortunately.
Stephen. Hi, Stephen.
Manager Mike. What do you reckon?
Unbelievable.
Yeah?
Oh, we will come back, like.